Just start the video. This is so freaking stupid. Welcome back to more Darice gameplay. Welcome back to the channel. I'm EasyP40. Today, we're starting a brand new series over the weapons of Call of Duty's Zombies. For each video, we're going to go through an entire game, and through the game, we'll go through all of the maps, and we'll go through the key weapons, both on the wall and out of the box on those maps. Since the weapon rankings I'm doing are on the more complex side, and I try to dive deeper into those, some people have been asking about a more simplified version, so I am going to be doing that for all of the games, and today we are going to start with World at War. First map we're going to go over is we're going to go over Nacht, Der and Toten, and in the starter room you're going to start with a Kar 98K and the M1A1 Carbine. The Kar is 200 points off the wall, the M1A1 Carbine is 600 points. You can grab these if you want, but in all honesty, you're just going to be able to open one door and buy the mystery box instantly, so there's that. However, if you're planning on staying in the starter room for a few rounds, it really depends. If you're planning on staying in there for about 3 rounds or so, I think the Kar will be fine for you, but if you're planning on staying in there for anything longer than about 5 rounds, the M1 Carbine is probably what you'll want. Personally, for me, I don't really stay in the starter room that long, so I don't really get either weapon. I just try to knife for the first couple rounds and then get out of there. If you go through the first door, you'll be able to hit the mystery box instantly, or you can buy the Thompson off the wall for 1,200. It does say 1,500 points off the wall, but in reality, it's 1,200. The key weapons off the wall, I would say, are the Thompson, and yeah, that's about it, honestly. The Thompson is the only wall weapon that I would say is genuinely a great wall weapon unlocked. The shotguns aren't bad, but in reality, you're not going to really need them as much as something like the Thompson. So if you're going to get a wall weapon, get the Thompson. In terms of the key weapons under the mystery box, the flamethrower, the Browning, and the MG42. Those 3 weapons, I would say, are the 3 main weapons you'll want to look for in the box. Especially if you're playing solo, you want a high round, the flamethrower is going to be really, really important. The MG42 and the Browning are more so important for casual games or camping. It really just depends on what you're trying to do, but those are the 2 LMGs that you'll want to have if you're sitting upstairs. The only wonder weapon that is knocked is the ray gun. The ray gun you can get out of the mystery box, and it's a good weapon to have, obviously. Just be careful with it because you don't have any perks on knocked, so it's very, very easy to down yourself with it. If you can't get any of the key weapons out of the mystery box, I strongly recommend just grabbing a Thompson. The Thompson is better than just about any box weapon other than the ones that I had just named. So if you can't get the Browning or the MG, just grab a Thompson. It'll do just fine for you, and you could buy ammo off the wall for it. Now moving on to Verrucht. With Verrucht, it really depends because you can spawn on 2 different sides in Verrucht. There's the Juggernog side and there is the Quick Revive side. Why in the world did I buy? Let's say you start on the Quick Revive side. If you spawn in the Quick Revive side, you're going to spawn in a spawn room with the Springfield and the M1 Grand. Both these weapons I don't really recommend, especially the Springfield. It's quite literally the worst weapon in Zombies history. Honestly, what I just recommend doing is after you buy the first door, you'll be able to buy either a double barrel shotgun or a Thompson. Both will be 1,200 points. Honestly, just get a Thompson. The reason I recommend buying the Thompson is because you're going to have to buy 5 doors in order to hit power and the mystery box on Verrucht if you spawn in on the Quick Revive side. So you'll want to be able to have something before you get into that power room, especially if you're playing solo, and the Thompson is by far the best option on that side. However, if you spawn in on the Juggernog side, I recommend that you just grab either an MP40 or just get enough points in order to hit the mystery box, because on the Juggernog side, you only have to open 3 doors in order to hit the mystery box. So on the Jug side, you have to open 3 doors. The Quick Revive side, you open 5 doors. So it's a lot easier to hit power if you're on the Jug side. The MP40 is a solid point weapon, and it's only 1,000 points. The STG-44 is also not bad, but I think the MP40 is just a little bit better for gaining points. So yeah, the key wall weapons, for the most part, I would say, is just the MP40 and the Thompson. I think the Thompson's a little bit better, but the MP40 is also solid. Now for the box weapons, I would say that the key box weapons in this map, yet again, are the MG42 and the Browning and the Flamethrower. Also, what I'm going to throw in here is the PPSH, because the PPSH was introduced in Verrucht. It is also a very nice weapon to have as well. Again, it really just depends on what you're doing. The PPSH is just kind of like the Browning and MG, where it's going to have a lot of ammo and hold down the zombies a lot. However, you're going to run out of ammo really, really quickly with this comparative to the Browning and MG42, because they actually hold a little bit more ammo, and the PPSH just shoots so fast. But regardless, all 3 of those are fine weapons to have. The Flamethrower is obviously something you'll want if you're going to try and high round. It's very, very useful for that, but if you're camping, it's just not that great. For wonder weapons, again, the only wonder weapon in World at War Verrückt is the ray gun. The ray gun, again, it's very good, but you'll just have to be very careful that you don't get yourself freaking killed with it. Now moving on to Shi no Numa. Shi no Numa is actually an interesting map because unlike Nacht and Verrückt, it's not as camp heavy. So camping is just not something that's very viable on this map, at least comparative to the first two maps. So when you spawn into the starter room, you'll have the Arasaka and the Gewer off the wall, 200 points and 600 points. Honestly, I don't really recommend buying either one, and the reason why is because, again, you just have to open one door in order to hit the mystery box. The moment that you hit the first door, which you can do straight away after round 1, there's going to be several weapons off of the wall that you can purchase. The M1 Carbine, the Thompson, the M1 Grand, and the Trench Gun. Now, I actually think that the two key wall weapons in this map, yet again the Thompson and the Trench Gun. And the reason I say the Trench Gun in specific is because dogs are on Shi no Numa, and the Trench Gun is really good for taking out those dogs. Other than that, the Trench Gun isn't really that great, but it's not bad either. It's not a bad weapon to have. The Thompson, yet again, it's a solid weapon. There's nothing wrong with having a Thompson. So really just, if you're going to get a wall weapon, get one of those two weapons. There's the MP40 and the STG and the Type 100 off the wall as well. However, I don't really recommend those comparative to the other two weapons because they're in weird locations and they're just not going to be as useful for you. Now for the key box weapons. In this, I honestly recommend that you just get the PPSH out of the mystery box. That's the only weapon out of the box that I think can truly be of use to you out of the regular weapons. The MG42 I want to recommend as well, but the problem with this is that with Shi no Numa, you're going to be running around a lot more, and because of that, the MG42 is going to be a little bit of a detriment to you because of its mobility, but if you can deal with the mobility, the MG42 is going to do a nice job killing. The wonder weapons on this map include the ray gun, which you can get out of the mystery box, and the introduction of the Wunderwaffe DG2, which you can also get out of the mystery box. You are going to want the Wunderwaffe. If you get the ray gun, that's fine, but you definitely want the Wunderwaffe. Now on to the final map, which is Der Riese. On Der Riese, in the spawn room, there's the Car 98K and the Gewer. Again, 200 points for the car, 600 points for the Gewer. Now, in terms of the starter room, and this is something that I might do sometimes on the maps, but this is something I mainly do on Der Riese, and that is I buy the Car 98K. And the reason I buy the Car 98K is because I usually am able to hit power at about round 3. And at round 3, that's about when the car stops being useful. So I'm able to use the car for the first couple of rounds if I want to. But the thing with it is that you're basically buying the car for 200 points. And once you go and hit the mystery box, you're guaranteed to not get the car out of the mystery box if you have it in your inventory. So you're basically paying $11.50 to not get it out of the box. Because nothing's worse than going and hitting the box on Der Riese and having like 1,000 points and you get a car out of the box. It's the worst feeling in the world. I usually go right on Der Riese, and if I do go right, sometimes I might pick up a Thompson, but sometimes I do just like to grab the car and then hit the mystery box. It's sometimes better for me that way, but either one works. It really just depends. There are 4 wall weapons that I primarily recommend on Der Riese. The Car 98K, if you start out with it for the first couple rounds, it's fine for that. After that, get rid of it. The Thompson is a great weapon to have to get points early in the game. The Type 100 is also a great wall weapon to have, and I think it's a little bit better than the Thompson, but the Thompson is just in a little bit of a better wall buy spot. The last wall weapon that I recommend is the double barrel shotgun. If you're trying to take out dogs in the later rounds, the double barrel shotgun is really good for that. It's one of the most powerful weapons in this map, so just be aware of that. For the late game and for mystery box weapons, there's several weapons that you can use out of the mystery box. The PPSH is obviously something that you're going to want. The MG42 is a great weapon to have, especially if you're camping on the catwalk. The flamethrower can be useful depending on what you're trying to do. The Browning's not bad, but I'm not going to keep it as a key weapon, and that's because the Browning is a little bit weaker in terms of its DPS, so if you're playing solo, I don't recommend really using the Browning that much comparative to the 3 weapons that I recommended ahead of this. Now for the wonder weapons, again, it's the ray gun out of the mystery box, the Wunderwaffe out of the mystery box as well, and the introduction of monkeys, which it's not a weapon, but it's a special grenade, which is going to help you. You're going to really want it under Reese because you're going to be able to revive teammates a lot easier whenever the zombies are hoarding up. You're going to be able to get max ammos a lot easier. It's just great to have as a get-out-of-jail-free card sometimes. You're going to want Monkey Bombs. If you get the Wonder Waft, be very, very careful with it because you have a very good opportunity to hurt yourself if you have the Wonder Waft. So just be careful if you do. If you shock yourself, you are not going to be able to regenerate health. So yeah, just be careful if you grab the Wonder Waft. If you get to those later rounds, the best thing to do really is just grab a Thompson, grab points, hit traps. That's the most efficient way to do it. It's the safest way to play Darius, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, that's about everything for World at War. I kind of want to do the World at War video first, and the reason why is because, one, it's the first zombies, and two, it was the shortest. It's only had 4 maps, and so that way we can kind of get a base idea of how this series is going to work. I did have a different topic planned for this week. However, I need to dive deeper into it. There's some things that I don't quite know of, and I really want to learn more on this next topic. So that's why I didn't have it for this week, but I will probably have it for next week. I am also working on the Black Ops 2 weapon ranking, but there's still some weapons that I need to do some more testing on, especially since there's a severe lack of statistical evidence and information on the internet. So I got to do more work for Black Ops 2 than I would for Black Ops 1 or World at War for that matter. So yeah, it might be a little bit before Black Ops 2 weapon ranking is out, but that is the next weapon ranking for sure. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever the heck it is, just, I don't know, comment down below, I guess. Discord in the freaking description. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.